Okay, hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, Savvylicious Arrangements. So today is going to be a quick video, nothing too long, um, and this is just a tester video, and I just wanted to show you guys what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. So today I'm going to be making candy apples, of course, and I bought some apples here and I noticed that it doesn't have any wax on them. So, or I'm not sure if they have any wax on them. So I decided that I wanted to do a test video and see if they will stick or if they will slide off. Now, if they will stick with no bubbles at all, then we're good to go. Like we're A-okay. And if they slide off, then I know that they have some type of wax on them. And I just want you guys to be here to experience every step that I take because I'm growing and you're growing with me. And I just want to say thank you to everyone that has subscribed within the last 2 weeks. We are almost at our goal of 1,500 subscribers. So if you did not hit that subscribe button, please hit it now. You won't miss a beat and you won't regret it. I am also going to be using some fondant. So I have my Prada not cookie, but fondant stamps. They're called Prada Sugar Craft Cutters. That's what they called. And if you checked out my last video, you will see that I did a huge haul of all of my appliances and silicone molds and cookie cutters and food colorings and all of that good stuff. So if you haven't seen that, I will leave it in the description box below, right along with the other videos. And anything in this video that you see that you may need, just leave it in the description or the comments below, and I'll help you as much as I can to find the product that you are looking for. So to get right started, I have my apples here, and I have these cute little pearl apple sticks that I got from Hobby Lobby. I have my fondant, that's buttercream fondant, and I have my edible glue that I'm going to be using to stick my fondant onto my apple once it cools down. And to achieve the color that I have, I use violet, and I also use royal blue and some white. And I have my fondant roller here, and I'm going to go ahead and over and show you my the color that I achieved. So here's the color that I have achieved. I am getting ready to go ahead and just stir this around just to make sure that all the color is diluted into the candy, and to make sure that all the candy is getting an even mixture. And my candy is at 200 and maybe 50 degrees so far. It doesn't take long. So I like to apply my color before I dip my apples, or, I like to apply my color first, because with me applying my color afterwards, and because I use a gel base of food coloring, and the more you mix it, the more it creates air bubbles, and the more it causes it to cool down quicker, and your sugar can crystallize, and then you have to start all over again, and we don't want that. So I would rather put my color in first, so that way it cooks, it settles, you don't get that food coloring taste, and you can just let your bubbles settle when it's time for your candy to come off the stove at 300 degrees. And then you can just go ahead and start dipping instead of having to worry about mixing. Now, if you like to mix your food coloring after your candy is ready, then that's just on you. To each his own. Everybody does their things differently. But for me, I've learned through experience that it's better to add the food coloring first and go ahead and cook it on the stove instead of trying to whip it after you finish cooking your candy. So right next to it, I have my little measuring cup with my spatula in it just to keep the water from sticking to anything instead of leaving it on my countertop or a piece of wax paper because it sticks to everything. So I just put it in the cup of hot water and I leave it there until I'm ready to use it again. So once our candy mixture is ready, we're going to go ahead and dip our apples, and then we're going to start using our fondant and rolling it out and everything. So once our candy mixture finishes, I'll be right back. Okay, so now that my candy mixture is finished, this is what it looks like in the pot. And now I'm just going to take some cooking spray and I am going to spray my plate. Let me spray it away from the apples. That way our candy mixture doesn't stick to our plate. And now I am just going to start dipping our apples to see what happens. Has a few air pockets, but that's not going to stop me. Okay, and so this is what our candy apples look like. They gave me a few bubbles, which is going to pop eventually, and then you'll see the holes like this one and like that one once they pop. So I didn't wash the apples like I normally would, just because when I took them out the bag, I felt as though that they didn't have any shine to them. And when I was rubbing on them, I heard this squeaky sound as if they were clean. But this one didn't do too bad. This one came out pretty good. It has a little bit of holes in it, not as much as the other one. But I will continue to clean my apples. I just wanted to take the easy route out and be like, oh, I don't have to clean apples anymore. I let them sit for 48 to 72 hours. So I'm still going to go back to my old method and continue to clean my apples. I actually have a pot of hot water and apple cider vinegar on the stove as we speak right now, because I was in the process of getting ready to clean the apples, and then I seen that they didn't have any wax on them, so I was just like, well, let's just do a rough draft. So this is what this is. This will be a rough draft video. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And we're going to move on to our fondant. So I'm just going to let these sit to the side and cool down, and we're going to get started on our fondant pieces. Okay, so now that we have our fondant, I have some gloves on because working with gloves with fondant is way easier than putting powdered sugar or cornstarch on your hands. And it doesn't stick. And that's another thing that I like about it. So we're just going to move this around in our hands, warm up our fondant as much as we can. And I absolutely love this fondant. I love this fondant. This is like one of the best fondants I've worked with so far. So I am going to take my rolling pin. I can't remember what they call this, but I'm just going to take my roller pin and I am going to start kneading our fondant. So you don't want it to be too thin or too thick. You want it just to be a nice size. Okay, so now that we have our fondant all rolled out, I'm just going to take one of my stamp cutters, and I'm just going to place this on my fondant. And voila. There you have it. You have a Prada sign. I'm so funny. So I have my little tool here that I'm going to use to cut this out. I can't remember what this is called either, but I'll leave it in the description box below for you guys, okay? So I'm just going to start cutting this out. I'm just going to make a round circle. Okay, and I'm just going to smooth out those edges. And there's your sign. Maybe I could have pressed down a little harder and see how that comes out. Let's see. I'm just going to keep practicing with the stamps. This is my first time using them. So they are really pretty, and I do like them a lot because of the actual names that's on there. So I'm just going to take my fondant. It's not stiff or anything like that. You know, I'm just trying to see how this works out. I'm just going to place it on this side. I didn't use anything to attach the fondant to the apple. The fondant is kind of sticky right now. It's not sticky, but it's, you know, kind of warm. So I'm just going to place this right on top of my candy apple. And my fondant is a little uneven, but it's okay. And there you have it. Okay, and I have a Michael Kors silicone mold. So I'm just going to try it out to see how it does with the silicone mold. And that's what it should look like. If you have any air pockets, just go ahead and just put your finger there and press down really firm to close that up. And because my fondant is warming up, it's a little warm, I'm just going to take some cornstarch and just dust it on there. So that way it's not hard to, and I just have regular cornstarch. 100% pure. I got this from my local grocery store for about $1, if that. So just take some, and I have some on my glove, and I'm just going to go ahead and just spread that around. And you could just dust off the excess. Okay, so I took it out of the freezer, and now I'm just going to pop it out of the silicone mold. And this is what your fondant will look like. It will look like a Michael Kors sign. So I'm just going to go ahead and stick this onto my other apple that I made. And we're just going to see how that does. Now I didn't use the edible glue. I can, let me go ahead and try, because just because the fondant is cold now, it's not really going to stick to our candy apple.